At the last count, there were more than 26 million cars on Britain's roads. Reliant Robins aside, that means there are well over 100 million tyres on the tarmac at any one time. That said, it's thought that only 4% of us drive with all four tyres properly inflated, which is bad news all round. Figures from the EU show that underinflated tyres are a contributory factor in 9% of all fatal road accidents and 41% of serious injury road accidents. The figures also estimate that worldwide 20 million litres of fuel are burnt unnecessarily each year through low tyre pressure, releasing 2 million tonnes of CO2 into the atmosphere. Enter the Tyre Pressure Monitoring System, or TPMS. From today, a new EU law requires battery-powered sensors to be fitted inside every tyre on every new model car. In 2 years' time, all new cars will have to have them, and from January 2015, they'll become part of the annual MOT.
The way it works is there's a sensor valve in each wheel that sends a low-frequency signal to the car's electronic unit, called an ECU, if the tyre pressure drops by more than about 20%, and that's shown by a symbol being shown on the dashboard.
French car manufacturers like Citroën, Renault and Peugeot have been fitting TPMS to some of their models for about 10 years, but to most of us, that warning light would be a bit of a mystery. In a recent survey, half of drivers couldn't identify it at all, and others guessed it meant anything from their engine overheating to their car approaching a cattle grid. But this next bit is no joke. A new sensor will set you back anything from £40 to £250 per tyre. Get a blowout? The sensor could well be damaged and it'll need replacing. The sensor's battery dies, estimates say 5 years life at most, it'll need replacing. Not got a spare tyre but use your car's puncture repair kit instead? Well, the sealant can clog up the sensor, so yes, it'll need replacing. And then there are the garages. One independent tyre fitter, trading in Birmingham for 22 years, says the diagnostic equipment needed to implement the system has cost him a small fortune. And he warns that the expense for customers won't stop at simply buying the sensors.
I've got to go around to each wheel one at a time, getting the readings from this sensor. Then I have to program the sensor into the management system of the car, and obviously that's going to cost, depending on the vehicle, between sort of £50, £60 each car.
But the new law, a version of which has been in force in the USA for 5 years, is being welcomed by the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders.
There are two key benefits from this system. Firstly, your tyres will be safer if they're appropriately inflated. Secondly, you will be more fuel efficient if they're appropriately inflated. So safety and fuel economy.
Of course, for a few years yet, TPMS will only be compulsory on new cars, but sooner or later they will pass into the second-hand market. Then every motorist will be that much safer, but also that much poorer. Andy Bevan, Central Tonight.